Long ago, in a fair one land, there lived a poor boy named Chika. He had nothing in this world, no father, no mother, no land, and no house. Every day, Chika walked without slippers on the dust road of the village looking for food. He begged for yam, drank water from broken calabash, and slept under a mango tree when night came. People mocked him. Some children called him the boy of the dust. Even grown men laughed at and said, can anything good ever come from this one? But what they did not know was this: the gods who were watching Chika. They saw his kind heart, for even in his poverty, Chika never refused to help. If an old woman needed firewood, Chika carried it. If a stranger was thirsty, he gave them water, even if it was the last drop he had. One day, something happened that changed his life forever. The great kingdom of Umunna had lost its king. The elder said the gods would choose the next ruler in a strange way. The crown would not rest on the head of the proud or the rich, but on the one with the purest heart. The royal messenger carried the crown from village to village. They placed it on the heads of the rich men, but the crown slept off. They tried it on warriors, but it fell. They tried chief, but the crown rejected them. Then, one evening, while Chika was picking firewood in the forest, he saw the messenger resting. He walked up to them and said, please, sir, you look tired. Can I fetch you water? They looked at him with pity. His cloth was torn, his body was thin, yet his eyes shone with kindness. They smiled and placed the crown on his head for a joke. But then something strange happened. The crown glowing like fire and it sit perfectly on Chika's head. The earth shook, the bird in the forest began to sing. Even the trees bowed. The messengers gasped. The gods have chosen. They cried. Chika fell to the ground, tumbling. Me, a poor boy, a king. Yes, the poor boy. The one who had nothing was carried back to the palace. The people who once mocked him once chewed. The same children who called him the boy of the dust now shouted, long life, King Chike. And so Chika, the boy who once begged for yam, became the king of Omunna. He ruled with love, kindness, and wisdom. He never forgot the days of his hunger. So he built farms for the poor, wells for the thirsty, and the houses for the homeless. His story spread far and wide, remind everyone that greatness does not always come from wealth or power. Sometimes it rises from the dust. When Chika first entered the palace, many nobles were angry. How can this ragged boy sit on the throne of our fathers? They shouted. He has no family, name. He has no weight. He has no blood of royalty. But the crowd has spoken. The gods have chosen, and no one could remove it from his head. That night, as Chika lay on the soft royal bed for the first time, tears rolled down his face. He remembered the cold night he spent under a mango tree. He remembered the empty stomach, the insults, and the laughter of those who called him useless. He whispered to himself, I will not be like them. I will be a king forever. And everyone, the rich, the poor, the weak, and the strong. The next morning, the boy who became king surprised everyone. Instead of calling for feasts and music, he called for the poor, bring them food. He said, give the clothes, let no child go hungry in this kingdom again. The people looked at him with wide eyes. A king had never spoke like this before. Days after day, Chika walked. He sits with farmers, listen to hunters, and speak with women in the market. He know their struggles because he had lived them. But not everyone was happy. The chiefs who once controlled the palace felt treated. They whispered among themselves, "This boy will destroy our power. We must bring him back." One dark night, they plotted to poison his food, but when their cup was brought to Chika, he smiled gently and said, "Let the eldest men in the hall drink first as a sign of respect." The chief who planned the evil, he quickly pushed the cup away, and the truth was revealed. Chika did not punish them with death. Instead, he gave and forgive them. "Let us build together," he said, "for a kingdom divided cannot stand." The chief bowed in shame, for they had never seen such wisdom for a boy so young. Soon the kingdom of Omona grew strongly. Neighboring lands respected Chika. Traders bought goods, warriors laid down their weapons, and peace filled the land. Every child in the village sang, "Once he was poor, now he is a king." Kindness is stronger than rich. As the years passed, King Chika became a legend. Children who were not yet born when he first wore the crown grew up only knowing him as their beloved king. But one evening, when the moon was full and the night was calm, Chika gathered the people of Omona in the great square. He bowed hard, turned white. His steps were slow, yet his eyes still shone with the same kindness he carried as a boy. He raised his staff and spoke softly, but every ear could hear him. "My people, I was once a boy who had nothing. I slept under a mango tree and ate from the dust. But the gods lifted me and made me your king. Now I'm old and my days are few. Listen well to my last word." The crowd glowed silently. Even the wind seemed to stop. Chika continued, "Never despise the poor, never mock the weak, for the hand of the gods can lift everyone. No matter where they are, I leave you this kingdom, not built on ground or power, but on kindness, justice, and love." The people wept. Men beat their chests, women cried out, and the children clung to their mothers. That night, under a watch of the moon, King Chika closed his eyes peacefully and joined the ancestors. The next morning, the whole land mourned. Bells rang from the village to village, but instead of sorrow alone, there was proud. Proud that a poor boy had grown the word. What true kingship means. From that day, every child of Omuna was told the story. Once there was a poor boy mocked by all, but the gods chose him and he became the greatest kingdom we ever had. And so the name of King Chika lived forever, not in palace of stones, but in the hearts of the people.